How to play bullshit. Playing bullshit: shuffle and deal a deck of 52 cards. These should be evenly distributed among the players. To keep the game from getting too complicated or lengthy, you should probably keep it from 3 to 6 players, though you can play the game with 2 to 10 players. Some of the players may end up with one more or fewer cards than the rest of the players, but that won't affect the outcome of the game in the long run. Before you begin, remember that the object is to get rid of all of your cards first. Determine who should go first. It can be the dealer, the person with the ace of spades, the 2 of clubs, or whoever has the most cards, if the distribution wasn't quite even. This person lays a card, or several, down on the table and tells the other players the type of card they just used. The person who goes first should always start by laying down an ace or a 2. Continue putting down the cards clockwise in consecutive ascending order. For example, if the first player put down 1 or more aces, the next player should put down 1 or more 2s, the third should put down 3 or more 2s, and so on. When it's your turn and you put down your cards, you have to say, 1 ace, 2 2s, or 3 kings, and so on. You may not actually have the cards that you need to put down, the fun is in faking it. If you don't have any of the required cards, you can skip your turn though. It's better not to pretend to put down 3 of them, and definitely not 4. If you say you've put down 3 of a card you don't have, it's likely that a player will have at least 2 of the card and will know you're lying and will call bullshit. You can also play dumb. Let's say it's your turn to put down queens, and you happen to have 2 of them. Say, "What am I again?" and look confused as you look through your cards before you put them down. Your goal is to make people believe you when you're lying, and make them doubt you when you're telling the truth. Call bullshit on anyone who you think is lying. If you know someone is lying because you have the cards they claim to have in your hand, because they're getting low on cards, or just because you have a feeling they're not telling the truth, then call bullshit. After the person puts down his cards and announces what they are. This entails an accusation and reveal, in which the person who just played is required to turn over the cards they just put and show everyone else what they actually are. If the cards aren't what the player said they were and the person who called bullshit was right, the lying player takes all the cards from the pile and adds them to their hand. If the cards are what the player said they were and the accuser turns out to be wrong, all of the cards in the pile go into the hand of the accuser. If 2 or more people call out the player in question and they are wrong, the pile is divided among all the accusers. Continue play after bullshit has been called. After bullshit has been called, another round starts with the last person to play. As the game progresses, it will become more difficult to get away with lying during a round, especially if the amount of cards you have keeps decreasing. In the end, it will come down to luck and how good your poker face is. Just try not to make any moves that are too risky, and don't call bullshit unless you're fairly certain the person playing has indeed lied about their cards. Win the game by playing all of the cards in your hand. Once one person has played all the cards in their hand, they are the winner. Of course, most people would call bullshit on the last play of the game, but you can get around this by making your final play very subtly and quickly, or by calling bullshit on the person right before you in hopes of starting the next round. Bullshit really is all about strategy, and the more you play it, the better you'll get. After one player wins, you can continue playing until there are 2 or 3 people left if that's how you decide to play. If you only have 1 card left, don't announce it in advance or let people know that you're about to win. You can also take the bold strategy: if you only have 1 card left, you can pretend to count off and say, "Oh, perfect. I only have 1 3. Though this is more likely to fail than not, you can have fun trying to trick your teammates. Playing variations on the game. Play with 2 or more packs shuffled together. This is ideal if you're playing with 5 or more people. It'll make the game last longer and it will be harder to tell who is actually bluffing. Change the sequence of ranks. Instead of playing the cards in ascending order of rank, Play in descending order of rank. Start with 2s, and then move back to aces, then kings, then queens, and so on. You can also play by going with the next highest or the next lowest rank of the person who went before you. So, if that person puts down a 9, you can put down a 10 or an 8. 5. You can also allow the next player to put down the same card as the player before him or her, or the card below or above that card in rank. This will make it easier for each player to actually put down a card he or she has. Allow players to put down more cards than they said they had. This rule should be decided before the game starts to avoid any accusations of cheating. If this rule is in effect, a player can say he's putting down 3 cards, for example, while sneaking in a 4th card. You can still call bullshit on this player to check if he actually put down the correct amount of cards. If he lied, then he'll have to take the pile. Allow players to put cards down when it is not their turns, but not the most recent player. Follow all of the same rules, but anyone can go at any time if the player who should go takes too long. Allow people with all 4 cards of the same rank to discard them off to the side, when it's their turn, face up, telling everyone what rank it is. This helps make a shorter game. If you have for say, 3 9s, try to call BS when someone puts down a 9, hopefully it has a 9, then you can discard the 9s. This is great especially if the pile has 3 cards, excluding the 9. Then, the number of cards in your hand goes down. Once the rank is put discarded, skip it next time. So if you or someone else discarded 9s, it will go 7, 8, 10, etc., as long as those ranks are still in the game.